Hello everybody, here I'm back with Lock and Load Lost Heroes Vietnam. As you can see here, this is a scenario that I have set up. It's called A Friend in Need, and it's an infantry only scenario, one of two in this whole module of Forgotten Heroes Vietnam. And I'm starting with these two because obviously first I want to learn the infantry rules before I then move on to more sophisticated play involving vehicles, etc. Now, the backstory to this is that US Army units move into the Ayrshire Valley in the opening moves of the battle that will culminate in Hamburger Hill. I'm just reading this from the information in the scenario. Here, two platoons advance on a small village, which is actually here. So you can see there are two rice paddies up here. There's bamboo huts here. There is bamboo huts down there. There's a wooden building here, and there's bamboo huts over here. And it's suspected that this village harbors a Viet Cong contingent. The Viet Cong know that Americans are in the area, and the Americans know of the VC of the Viet Cong, but neither side expected to stand up to battle. So what's going to happen is the idea, the victory conditions are that that for each of these buildings or huts that exist, the side that occupies them at the end of the game, of the scenario on turn 8, receives 1 point. In addition, for every American squad or single man counter that is eliminated, the Viet Cong receive 2 points, and the United States player receives 1 point for every Viet Cong North Vietnamese squad or SMC eliminated. So considering this, the Americans can make 1, 2, 3, 4 points by eliminating all of the Viet Cong troops, whereas the Viet Cong can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 points by taking out the Americans. So simply by just getting rid of them, they will win. And also at the moment they're already occupying 3 huts. So the setup is that the Viet Cong need to set up anywhere east of this road, this north-south road, which they are. And the Americans are off board at the beginning, and they will move in. There are also 3 event markers here. Event A is a line of sight event, so as soon as somebody is in line of sight of this hut, and I suppose in this case they need to do a spotting roll because the terrain is blocked, it's a hut, this event will be triggered, and these 2 events here and here will be triggered if and when an American unit moves into one of these hexes. And only Americans can trigger these 2 events. The Viet Minh, Viet Cong also have a sniper, and the sniper doesn't start on the board, but anytime during the game, the Viet Cong player can put this sniper anywhere on the board. They have a 0 movement allowance, and the sniper can attack anyone who moves into their line of sight and is spotted. So we'll see how that works. So here we have, on the first turn, the Americans have the initiative. This is turn 1, so I'm just going to make a little note, turn 1. And this is the second time that I'm playing this scenario. In my first play I actually made a couple of mistakes. So now this is me trying to play this and also using some different strategies than the ones that I had been using before. So the way this works is that game is played using impulses which always affect 1 hex. So the Americans are going to start, and let's say they start down here, and they are coming in, so this impulse will affect this hex. And units in 1 hex, in the same hex, are activated at the same time, but they don't have to do something at the same time. So for example, I can say that 3 units start moving and the rest stay stationary. They can be activated later on. But if we decide that troops are going to move together, then they have to move together. And if we decide that troops are fighting, are attacking together, then they have to attack the same target, unless there's a special weapon involved, which I will not go into at the moment. So let's say we're activating A7, which is where these guys are located, and the first group with the leader is going to move in here. They have a movement allowance of 4, 2, 3, 4. Now these guys have moved, so they are spotted by definition. Movement will make you spotted. Then these guys are going to move 1, 2, 4, and they are also spotted. This is this impulse over. So now it's the Viet Minh, and the Viet Minh is now going to, and this is something I didn't do in the first game, I'm going to use the sniper now. I'm going to put the sniper here. So here we are back. We are on turn 6 and a lot has happened. First of all, the Americans have now managed to take the hut up here, so they have achieved one of their objectives. They've also eliminated the sniper, who had been attacking down here but has been very ineffectual. He couldn't take out anyone. 1 leader and 1 squad. But by entering the hut, they also alerted 3 units, well actually 2 squads, 1 leader and 1 support weapon. And there was a lot of fighting here. There was also melee up here, in which the squad, the Viet Cong squad, was eliminated. So that was my first experience with melee, which I thought was a bit weird, but then I realized how to interpret the rules. And then down here, the leader here managed to rally his troops because they had been attacked and had been shaken. And they moved in here to get some, to get some well-deserved rest, I suppose, in the partial jungle. Were fired upon, and during the firing, they spawned a hero. So now they have a hero, which means that first of all you pick simply a counter on which it says hero, like this. Then you pick a card. This hero is not only a leader but also a healer, so he may act as a medic in addition to acting as a leader or hero, which is very good. So as a leader he can rally, and as a medic he can heal, and he's also assault movement capable, which means in the assault movement stage you can move and then fire immediately if you like. He gets the fired status because the group that spawned him also has the same status, so the status needs to be exactly the same. The next impulse is now with the Viet Cong, and this group up here is going to shoot at these guys down here. So let's see. For a 6, it's 4 plus 2, and they get a 2 on the die roll, and they are in a light jungle, which means that, let's just push this a little in. So as you can see, they are in a light jungle hex, and a light jungle hex gives them a +1. So they have a 2 on the die roll, +1 is a 3. So the delta is 3. So yes, there will be repercussions. So the first one rolls a 1, plus 3 is 4, so that's okay, but they rolled a 1, so they may spawn a hero, and they don't spawn a hero because they don't have a second even roll. The other group rolls a 5 plus 3, and the terrain gives them so basically they have an 8, so they are shaken. So this is going to be important in the next round because these guys cannot self-rally. So well, they can try and self-rally, but it's going to be they would have to roll a 7. No, they would have to roll, yeah, a 6 or less on 2 dice. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so these guys are fired, and now the impulse goes back to the Americans, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attacking this group here for 4. That's 4 plus 4 is 8. When they roll a 6, there is no modifier, so that's a delta of 2. So let's see how they're doing. And they roll a 1, plus 2 is 3, which is less than their morale, so they are okay. But let's see, maybe they spawn a hero, and they do spawn a hero. So we're going to get another hero counter. And this is something that I find really interesting because you can actually end up with additional people on the board that you didn't have to begin with, and that's quite nice. So we're going to take out the hero marker. He also will get the status fired, and we also need to draw a card from the deck of lock and load cards. So just a random draw. I shuffled them earlier, so I'm just going to draw one out of the pack. Let's take this one, and this is a veteran, which is good because it means that his morale is +1, so it's a 7 instead of a 6, which is important when we look at damage rolls. And he also subtracts 1 from spotting attempts from his enemies. So we're going to put this in here, and he's going to get this veteran marker, and he's also fired. So we'll just try and find another fired marker. I have to say that I have very few information markers. I don't know if it's just, that they were never included in the first place, or they got lost, but I don't have enough fired markers, for example. So we'll just have to remember that this guy also fired, so we'll just close this. These guys also fired. We will just have to remember this as well. I'm just going to give them an ops complete one because they did complete the operation. So now it is the Viet Minh. And the Viet Minh are going to pass. So what we are now going to do is, and this is something that I really like, it's a mechanic that took me a while to figure out, or to basically take into consideration. These guys have fired. All of the Viet Minh have fired except these guys here. This unit can move, and it doesn't attract opportunity fire from this group because they already have fired. So this is a +1, then they could move here, +2, and they would be in the line of sight. They wouldn't be in the line of sight of this group here because their line of sight either goes this way or that way. If they moved here, they would go through two hexes that basically have degrading terrain. So we could try and fire at them. And we are going to do this because if they moved here, then it would just be one degrading hex. We're going to move here, which means it's 2 degrading hexes, so it means a -2. So they moved. So let's see if we incur fire damage. So they roll a 5. They get a +1 for the move, a -2 for the 2 degrading hexes, and we have a +1 inherent firepower. So that's 6, 7, -2 is 5. And they are in degrading, they're in open terrain, so they roll a 3. They don't get any, let's see, rice paddies don't give you anything to, oh yes they do, they give you a 4. So yeah, it's a 3 + 1, that's 4. So there is a delta of 1, but it's a small delta only. So let's roll for the first one. 1 + 1, nothing, because their morale is 5, but they may spawn a hero, and they do spawn a hero. So, and that's the first American hero that I've been able to get out of here. And let's see, here is a hero. Is this? Yeah, that's a hero. Okay, so he's getting a moved marker. Let's roll for the second unit as well. They roll a 3 + 1 is also a 4, 5, so they are not. So these guys also fired. We just have to remember this. Now we have to draw a card for the newly spawned hero, and he is going to be a lucky man. When played, this card adds or subtracts owner's choice 3 from any die roll, be it owners or enemies, that involves this unit, or if the card belongs to a leader, units in this unit's hex. This card may be played once and then discarded. Now, he is going to be a really lucky man. And it's very apt that, you know, since I live in Ireland, that this actually has a little clover leaf. So, we've spawned a hero. Brilliant. I'm going to put him here in the same hex with them. So these guys have now fired. These have been fired upon, but they're not going to move. So the impulse would now be with the Americans. They're not going to do anything, so now it would be the Viet Cong, but they're not going to do anything either. So now we are on turn 7. And let's just determine initiative quickly. The Viet Minh roll 5 and the Americans roll 2, so they have the initiative. The Viet Minh have the initiative. Viet Cong, I keep saying Viet Minh. And that's the end of this, so we will see what happens next. So we are now on turn 8, at the end of turn 8. And here is the final score. As you can see, the Americans have managed to move into the wooden building up here and into the hut up here, down here. They've not managed to go into this building, so this building still counts towards the Viet Cong, and the Americans also own this building up here, so that's 1 point for each building. It's 1, 2, 3 for the United States and 1 for the Viet Cong. And with regard to eliminating units, the Americans have eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, which gives them 7 points, and the Viet Minh have managed to eliminate 1, which gives them 2 points, so it's 10 to 3. So the United States have won. The game was actually quite intense. Like I said, several times heroes were spawned. The American leader down here has been under a lot of attack, but he's managed to hang in there because he's got the bull strength card, which means that you can wound him. In order for him to die, you need to wound him 3 times. So he's got 2 wound markers on himself, but he managed to withdraw into this little jungle hex. So the last time he was being attacked, he managed to get out of it. The hero down here, the Viet Minh hero, is still active. He's still there. And the Viet Minh have 2 units and 1 leader in all left. 1 hero unit, 1 squad, and the Americans have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good order squads and 1 medic and 1 seriously wounded leader. But basically now it's the last turn. As you can see, there is melee going on, and this melee has been reinforced by these guys coming in. So on the next turn, this would have been a slightly different situation here. At the moment it's 1-to-1. I have to say that this is a really great game. It takes some time to get used to, because obviously, you know, you have to remember what to roll when, and when do you use two dice, and when do you just use 1. But other than that, it's really tense. Like I said, this is an infantry only, so I've never played with vehicles, so I'm going to try the next infantry only one, which is, I think, called possibly the village, but I'm not sure. That I want to play, and then I want to move into the infantry, into the vehicle section of the rules. But I can already say that this is a great system. Like I said before, it reminds me very much of ASL. I'm sure that ASL played a long an important part in the creation of this game. What I find a bit strange is that while ASL is thriving in terms of production, there are different companies creating modules and maps and counters for ASL. It seems like only Lock and Load is creating stuff for Lock and Load, and even they are very, I don't know, they are very slow with turning out new stuff, and I mean even reprints seem to take forever. So I'm a bit disappointed, because this would be such an open system where I would expect loads of stuff to come out, but unfortunately that's not the case. That's a little bit disappointing, but yeah, hey, maybe, I mean, if anyone from Lock and Load is listening, I'm still waiting for the Anzac expansion, which is supposed to have been shipped last month, but it's still not shipping, and I have a pre-order, and I would really like to see this before Christmas, so get a move on, get your socks up. Okay, thanks very much for listening.